All right, so no silly intro today, no script or anything like that. I just kind of want to sit down with you guys and discuss some current events going on in the Bungie and Destiny landscape. Because if you've been living under a rock, some things have been going on as of yesterday. And if you've been on Twitter at all today, then you may know that things have gotten worse. And it's not really looking good. So for those of you guys that don't know what's going on, I'm going to cut on over. We'll take a look at some sources, and I'll catch you guys up to speed, and I'll give you guys some information on what had just come out, courtesy of 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏. All right, so first things first, there has been a lot going on. One of the biggest news stories right now comes from Jason Schreier. If you guys do not know who this man is, he has got to be one of the most credible people in the gaming industry when it comes to breaking news stories before anybody else. Jason Schreier had reported recently that the final shape has been delayed until June 2024. Bungie recently delayed an upcoming Destiny 2 expansion, the final shape, until June from February, pushing it out of Sony Group Corp's current fiscal year, said the people who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorized to speak publicly. Bungie's next game, Marathon, has been slipped to 2025. Now, why would this be the case to begin with? Well, there has been a lot of firings that have been going on at Bungie. One of my friends here, 𝗧𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏, had basically compiled a very big list. Now, this is probably not everybody. This is probably just the people that are on Twitter and the people that Sammy could find. But as you can see here, there are a lot of people that have been fired. 𝗷𝗍𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is Leon and Rupert. We have Sam Bartley. Griffin, who is a social media manager. We have Jason here. We have Blue Jay, who was on art. We have a lot of people here, some of which have me blocked. But we have a lot of people here that were fired. And this is only scraping the surface of what has been going on. Some of the bigger people who were fired were Michael Salvatore. And this guy has been with Bungie basically since the beginning. He's behind a lot of Halo's music, and he's behind basically all of Destiny's music. This guy is a living legend, as well as the man behind the Deepstone Lullaby, as well as a bunch of other tracks. He has been laid off as well. And for those of you guys that have been playing Destiny for a while, you probably know that music is the heart and soul of this game. It's one of Destiny's biggest strengths is its art and its music. And this is definitely something that's crazy. Now, I have seen reports that, both of Michael's works have been already recorded for the final shape. So when the final shape DLC comes out, you will still be able to hear their music if you don't refund your purchase of the DLC, which is totally understandable. Now, this is part of a lot of massive layoffs after Sony had purchased Bungie. And one of the most notable things that Bungie had mentioned is that, well, Bungie leadership assures employees that the Sony deal will not result in layoffs or restructuring. Company's developers fear losing independence, but express cautious optimism after acquisition. Yeah, it hasn't even been 2 years since this article came out, and since that was told to employees, and we have seen absolute massive restructuring and layoffs. There was even a tweet from Pete Parsons, who is the Bungie CEO, who said, "Today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio. What these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games and Bungie culture has been enormous and will continue to be a part of Bungie long into the future. These are truly talented people. If you have openings, I would highly recommend each and every one of them." Now, this would lead you to believe that this is surely a Sony thing, and that Sony is purely behind all of these layoffs. Bungie had signed a deal with the devil. Maybe they didn't know what they were getting into, which they totally should have. And Sony had caused a lot of these layoffs. Well, that might not be the entire truth. I've been tweeting a lot about the situation over on Twitter. And yeah, one of the biggest things, man, new info about the Bungie layoffs per source. This is coming from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. As you guys know, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, very credible, probably had direct contact with a Bungie employee. The bullet points here say that the layoff decisions came directly from Bungie management and not Sony. This is not about Sony replacing Bungie employees with their own people. Many employee benefits, though not health insurance, only last until the end of the month if you're let go. Laying people off on the 30th, which was yesterday, means a single additional day of coverage. And the last thing that they said here is that many employees had unvested shares as a result of the Sony purchase. These shares would be received based on staying with the company for a certain number of years following the sale, but those shares revert to Bungie if you leave, even if you're fired, which is what's happening now to many of those affected. This is disgusting, right? This is terrible. And I know what many of you are going to say, you know, this has been happening a lot this year, right? This year has been fantastic for gaming as a whole because, well, there's been a lot of really good games that have come out in 2023, a lot of bangers, right? A lot of people have been trying to peddle this idea that gaming, modern gaming has killed gaming as a whole. Gaming is dead. Well, this year, there's been a lot of Game of the Year contenders that have been releasing, and video games have never seemed, you know, more exciting. However, the video game industry and those that work in it have been suffering a lot. And it's not just through Bungie. There's been many of other companies that have been doing mass layoffs of their employees this entire year, basically, right? The problem comes into play when you're Bungie and you create this public perception that you're different from the rest. You're all about inclusivity. You're all about treating your employees with respect and doing the right thing and this and that. You want to make your employees feel safe. You want to make them feel valued. You want to make your entire company feel like one big happy family. But as we all know, that is not how things work. And Bungie has shown their hand publicly to the world, and many of us have already assumed that Bungie wasn't who they said they were. I mean, there's been many of decisions that they've made in the past, even as of recent, that has led us to believe that, yeah, this is corporate greed, the company. I mean, look how much monetization is in Destiny 2. Bungie's trying to squeeze as much money out of their consumers as possible at any given turn. But at least they treat their employees well, right? Well, maybe not. This whole situation, man, has really just confirmed what a lot of us had thought, and that Bungie just isn't the company that they tried to get public perception of them to be. And, you know, it's kind of silly to think that at one point that they were different from the rest, looking back on it. I mean, I've seen tweets from Bungie employees who literally are speaking publicly, and they're kicking themselves, being like, damn, man, I can't believe that I believed this wasn't going to happen. I cannot believe that I believed what they told me and that my job was safe and that my friends and I wouldn't get fired. You know, I mean, we haven't even talked about what the morale of the employees at this company must be feeling. I mean, you know, Final Shape getting delayed until June, you know, that's one thing. But now you have this whole studio of people that had, you know, the people that are left that are sitting there and they're like, why would they want to give their A game when it feels like at any point they could be fine? I mean, they're all of their friends, you know, their whole teams were wiped out before their very eyes and they're the only ones left. And it's like, you got to imagine that the morale in that situation is not good. And you know, it's really concerning. My heart truly goes out to those affected by this whole ordeal, because I mean, it's disgusting. It truly is. It's not a very good situation at all. I really do hope, as many of you may know, I am a very big fan of the Halo franchise, obviously stemming from when Bungie was not exactly the corporate entity that they are now, but I still, you know, I enjoy Halo Infinite. You know, I'm a very big fan of that game, especially with the updates that have been coming out. I hope and I pray that 343 Industries and Microsoft is taking a look at what's going on and that they hire these people onto their team, because Halo Infinite, for those of you guys that don't know, has been making quite the comeback as of late. It's been doing very well as a game. And I feel like this is Microsoft and 343's perfect opportunity to not only benefit the game that they're working on, but to benefit the employees who have just come out of a job. I had seen something terrible of Liana, the previous community manager, tweeting that they're scared that they might lose their house. And that is a scary thing to have to deal with. One day you're sitting there working your dream job. The next day, you don't know if you can pay your bills anymore. It's terrifying, you know? And it sucks that this company that we've all known and loved and have enjoyed their games and stuff, it is no different than any of the rest of them out there. And it's a damn shame. So I wanted to come on here and I wanted to update you guys, let you all know that it's, according to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and the sources that he has, that it was indeed Bungie's decision to do this mass firing. And even if it wasn't, Bungie are the ones that signed the deal with the devil. I don't want to hear anything absolving Bungie of what's been going on. They had split from Activision, were so happy to be independent, signed this multi-billion-dollar deal with Sony out of nowhere, and now this is happening, right? It's got to be an upper management thing. It's not, you cannot pin all of this on Sony. As much as I do not like Sony, you cannot pin this all on them. This is Bungie has dug their own grave, and with everything that's going on online and the public perception of them, they're just going to have to sit in it at this point. Hopefully, maybe this week, we will get an update from the TWID, or, you know, something that isn't the CEO going boo-hoo and wiping tears away with dollar bills. You know, perhaps we'll get something better. In like an actual statement. And if we do, I will let you guys know. It's not normally my cup of tea to upload this kind of stuff to my channel, but as someone that is so ingrained in Bungie as a company, had been playing their games for, you know, damn near 2 decades now. I don't know. I wanted to come out and I wanted to talk about it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Sorry that this is such a grim upload, but truthfully, I don't feel like playing the game right now. I don't feel like playing Destiny. I don't feel like streaming Destiny. I'm honestly disgusted. I don't know what to think right now. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time.